If you drive, sorry to say, you better have some pretty deep pockets.
Yeah. AAA says gas prices have hit their highest level in 8 years. The national average is $3.48 a gallon. New York, $3.66 a gallon. New Jersey, $3.56, and Connecticut, $3.60. But the question is, will they keep going up?
Ridiculous. Let's find out what's going on from our friend, GasBuddy's Chief of Petroleum Analysis, Patrick Haan. So good to see you, Patrick. You know, I thought we were friends here.
With you.
Thought we were friends. So let me ask you this. Before we get into how long it's going to last and relief, I filled up this morning. It was painful. What is causing gasoline prices to move the way they have been?
Well, you know, over the weekend, we hit $94 a barrel for West Texas Intermediate crude oil. That's also the highest since the summer of 2014. What's really been fueling prices the last, call it 4 or 5 weeks, is this whole situation with Russia, Ukraine. The concern is that somehow, if there are sanctions on Russia, if Russia does invade Ukraine, the U.S. will respond with sanctions, then Russia could start to curb the flow of exports.
So that being said, how long can we expect these gas prices to keep rising? And how high do you think they're going to go?
Well, you know, not a whole lot of good news here, but it's going to get worse a little bit more often here as we progress towards the spring. March, April, and May, not only do we have the geopolitical tensions that will likely push prices up, but we also have seasonal factors that come into play, including the switch back to summer gasoline, an increase in demand as Omicron and COVID cases come down. So unfortunately, not a whole lot of good news, and will continue to go up. We could be at $4 a gallon here in the next month or month and a half.
My goodness. $4. That's insane. Because the prices always do go up, right, with the summer travel and everything else, and this summer gas switch, which I don't understand. But anyway, that's for a different day. You mentioned the Omicron and how the variant kind of affected travel, right? But with more people wanting to drive and more people filling up, shouldn't that bring prices down?
Well, more demand pushes prices up, especially when there's more risk geopolitically, not only in Russia, by the way. I didn't mention Libya. There's been unrest in Libya. Of course, Kazakhstan protests to start the year, and terrorist attacks in the UAE. So there's just a lot going on right now. I think this probably, the Russia-Ukraine situation is probably the top of mind. That's really going to push oil either up more significantly, or it could hold oil prices down if Russia chooses not to invade. So that's really the big headline that we're watching.
So shouldn't this speed up finding options? Like, can the United States commit to developing renewable energy and still expand oil and gas production to kind of help limit that, the price increases?
Well, you'd hope. And I mean, that's obvious where the current administration has kind of diverged with conventional wisdom, pushing us towards EVs and kind of becoming a bit more hostile to the oil and gas sector. I mean, that is costing motors a little bit. But in terms of that, the U.S. is increasing production. And yes, the light at the end of the tunnel is that high oil prices that we're expecting and high gas prices will likely incentivize additional oil production by the end of the year. But that doesn't mean there's not going to be a little short-term pain. So buckle up. By the end of the year, there could be improvement, but there's a lot of geopolitical wildcards out there right now.
So yeah, we often turn to our elected officials, right? And people are like, oh, well, this could be the federal government can step in and help. Can they? Is there anything that can be done immediately to kind of help people lessen the cost?
Not so much.
Okay.
You know, unfortunately, the White House released oil from the SPR. That didn't help much just because there were a lot of strings attached to those 50 million barrels. That was maybe a little bit of the wrong approach. The only other lever the president really has right now, Iran. Iran's oil has been off the global market. It's been sanctioned. Of course, China has been getting a lot of Iran's crude oil. But if the U.S. And other global powers make a new nuclear deal with Iran, that could slightly temper the rising price of oil.
So I guess that begs the question, with all this talk of rising gas prices, what can we do then as motorists, people driving, motorcycles, boats, everything really, to save money on gas?
Well, keep in mind, early in the pandemic, when Americans stopped driving, what happened to prices? They plummeted. Now, not all of us are going to sit and park the car tomorrow, but if we were to drive a little bit more fuel efficiently as a country, even if it's a couple percentage points, that will go a far way. That's really hard for a lot of Americans to drive slower. I think the other tip, just shop around. There's so many different stations charging a vastly different price for fuel. That's one way you won't have to dig quite as deep.
Oh, yeah. There's one by me that only takes cash, but there's always a line down the block because they've really reduced their price because of it. But it's very interesting for sure.
Yeah. All right, Patrick Haan, thanks so much. Head of Petroleum, and he's an analyst for GasBuddy. Thanks so much for being with us. And hopefully next time we talk to you, gas prices will be lower.
That's right.
All right, thank you.
Goodness.